Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. David Levy here, your professor from MC 131. Not sure what Tom is doing. Maybe he's out skiing someplace out in Utah. So you've got me today. Um, on Tuesday, Tom and I invited you all to a Zoom session to introduce you to MC 131, and we appreciated the students who showed up. One of the topics we addressed was the importance of writing concisely. Well, for assignment number one, you're being asked to write about a personal passion using 100 to 150 words. And one of the criteria, if you read the instructions carefully, is to make sure that you don't have padding in your writing, or as we call it, unnecessary words. For each occurrence, that can cost you 5 points, and that's a lot of points, and especially if you have a lot of occurrences. So I want to show you examples of wordy graphs and give everyone who's already done the assignment to go back in and self-edit before the assignment deadline at 11:59 p.m. on Friday. And I'm doing this because I understand that it's tough not to include unnecessary words if you don't realize that they're unnecessary. So we'll look at some examples, a couple examples, and these are taken right from the Collegian student-run newspaper. And I already coached the student staff in how to tighten the wording for these. So I'm going to share my screen with you and do the best that I can here. Let me see. Start with this one. Okay, so this is taken from the sports section. I'm going to read it for starters. It hasn't helped that guard Marquis Noel, if that's how you pronounce his first name, I hope that's correct, and forward Keontae Johnson have seemed to lose their early season thunder. Noel has been in a prolonged shooting slump since the first Kansas game, shooting a paltry 34% from the field over his last 9 games. Johnson has been all right, but he is consistently getting himself into foul trouble, limiting his minutes on the court. Now, this here includes 63 words. It took 63 words to write this, okay? And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, I get what is being said, but when we're talking about writing for efficiency, there's got to be a better way. So I like to sometimes break things down a little bit when I'm self-editing. Let's look at the first sentence. It hasn't helped that guard Noel and Johnson have seemed to lose their early season thunder. Now, we have to think about this just a little bit, just a little critically. So if they seem to have lost their early season thunder, well, of course, that hasn't helped the guard. That hasn't helped them. So I don't even actually need to include this. All right. Here, the problem that they're having, which is losing their season thunder, that's telling me everything I need to know. So I can get rid of this for starters, and I could start the sentence here. Guard Noel and forward Johnson have seemed to lose their early season thunder. And then I'm going to look at this some more and say, have seemed to lose. Well, then I guess maybe they lost it, right? So I can actually get rid of some of these words. Guard Noel and Johnson have lost their early season thunder. So I've already eliminated quite a number of words from this graph. Okay. Now I can come down here and separate these sentences. And first of all, some things that I noticed. In one sentence, I've got the word game listed twice. And that's a signal that probably this is more verbose than it needs to be. All right. Noel has been in a prolonged shooting slump since the first Kansas game. shooting a paltry 34%. So that means this is current, this is ongoing. So I can rewrite this. I can write Noel is in a prolonged shooting slump since the first a shooting slump. And I could say shooting a paltry 34% from the field over his last 9 games. Now, one way to test this is I can replace Kansas with some other school. Okay, it's referring to Kansas University. And if it doesn't change the meaning, the last 9 games are the last 9 games. So it doesn't really matter who the team is. I can take that out and get rid of those words. And now I've got Noel is in a prolonged shooting slump, but now I got shooting a paltry. So that's 2 words that are the same, that don't need to be there. I can just get rid of this and write Noel's in a prolonged slump, shooting a paltry 34% from the field over his last 9 games. I'm done with that. I can bring that back up here. Now I've got this one. Johnson has been all right. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't really tell me anything. Again, you want every word to count. That's what we talked about on Tuesday night when we had the Zoom session, making every word count. If you have a word that doesn't really tell me very much, it doesn't count for very much. So I'm going to get rid of this and just write this. Johnson is consistently getting himself into foul trouble, limiting his minutes on the court. And so I'm going to bring this back up here. And now I'm going to read it. Guard Marquis Noel and forward Keontae Johnson have lost their early season thunder. Noel is in a prolonged slump, shooting a paltry 34% from the field over his last 9 games. Johnson is consistently getting himself into foul trouble, limiting his minutes on the court. And now, if I do this, and go up to my tool section, and now instead of 63 words, I've got 44. Okay. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about consistency, concision in our writing, making sure every word counts. So I'm going to show you another example. I've got to stop my screen share and pull up something else. Hold on. Okay. Share my screen again. And I think, is this the one I want? Yeah, I think so. Push that one down a little bit. I'm going to expand this, blow this up a little bit so you can see it. Okay. All right. Here we have something that appeared in the collegiate newspaper. I'll read this one. This is from the arts and culture section. Someone was talking about a passion of enjoying lattes on Valentine's Day. Any of these drinks are the perfect blend to cozy up with. While Valentine's Day is over, the season's festivities are not. While steaming hot Valentine's Day dates have passed, customers can still find a steaming hot latte before the month's end. That's 43 words. In the directions and in some of the readings you prepared yourself, to help prepare yourself for this assignment, it talked about the essence of show versus tell. What exactly does that mean? When we talk about show, we're talking about being as visually descriptive as you can for your reader. So at the beginning of this graph, when you have any of these drinks are the perfect blend to cozy up with, well, you're showing. I mean, you're telling. You're not showing me anything. You're just telling me. Okay. Then it goes on. Valentine's Day is over. All right. But the season's festivities are not. Again, here I'm being told I'm not really being shown anything. Now I've got something else going on here. You got steaming hot Valentine's Day dates have passed, steaming hot lattes before the end of the month. We're starting to get into a little bit of something. You notice you got Valentine's Day here, Valentine's Day here. That's twice. I don't need to have that wording, in one graph. I don't have to repeat that twice. So how do you do with something like this? Well, clearly, if Valentine's Day seems to be the important, theme here, I might want to take that and that it's past, and it says it's over, it says it's past, it's repetitive. I might want to take this, pull it down here, and just kind of isolate that. Valentine's Day, I'm going to just use it as past and use that at the beginning of my sentence. All right. Now, what is the passion here really about? It's about steaming hot lattes. Okay. And we know that because it appears twice. Again, that's just repetitive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, here, the steaming hot latte. And the question that I'm going to ask is, what is it doing? Okay, what is this item doing? Valentine's Day has passed, right? Steaming hot lattes or hot latte, if it's only one, what is it doing? Well, it's saying that steaming hot latte is the perfect blend to cozy up with, all right, before the month's end. It says customers can still find, these things before the month's end. So I like the concept of cozy up. I also think it's important that we keep the meaning the same, and that is that these things can still be found, okay, before the month's end. So I'm going to bring that down here. Okay. And I'm going to say the perfect blend, cozy up with, or to cozy up with. Steaming hot latte. All right, Valentine's Day is passed. Oops. But a steaming hot latte is still nice for cozying up with before the month's end. Now let's read it. Valentine's Day is past, but a steaming hot latte is still nice for cozying up with before the month's end. Now, if I use this, instead of 43 words, I've got 20. And this is what we're talking about. Being a little more critical, really thinking about the words that you're using and making sure that things count. Every word counts. Starting your paragraph with phrases like, one of my greatest passions is, or something like that. Get it out of the writing. You don't need, that's telling. Just jump right into the descriptive elements of your passion and try and visualize, the words. You know what I like to do? I like to create a brainstorm list of all the visual, just the visual elements that, reflect my passion, and use that to help you, organize your paragraph and just jump right into those visuals. Okay. I had another version of this too, which I can show you. Went kind of like this when I talked with the students. This comes from their critique notes, but I had another one. I'll blow that one up for you. Because I can write, again, hot latte is still nice for cozying up with But if you really want to bring it together, all they have to write is, while Valentine's Day has passed, specialty steam and hot lattes still tug at the heartstrings. And of course, using those heartstrings as a, to help point to, the theme of Valentine's Day. It's kind of nice. And that's only 15 words. So it's all about writing concisely, making sure that every word counts, and being self-critical. Okay. And I know one thing about my own writing, and that's this, because I do a lot of writing. And when I have to write something that is going out to the masses, not just for myself, but I know something that's going out to either a report or a newspaper article or a magazine article or a script for my show, I know that the first 40 minutes of whatever I put down on paper, I'm not going to use. Okay. It's trash. So sometimes it takes a while to warm up. Don't just think about what you want to say. Think about the words that you want to use to say it. Create that visual image for your reader. Okay. And that's what I've got for you today. I hope that you find that helpful. Please feel free, go back in to, take another look, be more critical, self-edit your work if you've already done the assignment. And one thing that I know I speak on behalf of Tom for this, it's really important that you don't jump ahead. We know that a few students, not too many, but a few have already done assignments 1, 2, and 3. You want to get it done very quickly. There are reasons why these assignments come in the order that they do, and why we offer Zoom sessions ahead of them. So we strongly encourage you not to do that. Take your time, build the skills for the first week of the first assignment. Work on those skill sets. Let us give you some guidance, and then go work on the skill sets so you're doing them the way they're really supposed to be done, and you know exactly what it is that we're looking for. Okay. So take your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My door is open here in Kedzie 103, or you can visit Tom on Zoom or fly out to Utah and have your lesson with him on the slopes. Okay. All right, everybody. Hope you found that useful. Bye-bye.